Hello, everyone. You'll have to excuse me if I sound a bit under the weather as I'm getting over a bit of sickness. Yay, wintertime. For this project, the person I chose to present for the Hope and Courage video presentation is both a major influence in the world and in my own personal life. I credit this person with offering much needed guidance to myself in some of the hardest times I've experienced and from whom I've gathered many invaluable tools for living and being present. The person I chose for this project is the much esteemed Jack Kornfield. For those who are not familiar, Jack Kornfield is one of the preeminent mindfulness and meditation teachers in the United States today and was a key figure in bringing mindfulness and Buddhist practices to the United States in the 1970s. He graduated from Dartmouth College, taught at Harvard, and holds a PhD in clinical psychology and has had a global impact. In the United States, he was instrumental in founding many major meditation centers and continues to teach at locations such as the Spirit Rock Meditation Center located in California on the West Coast. Jack Kornfield studied under a senior monk in the Thai forest monasteries in his youth named Ajahn Chah, who was a Thai forest master that was very well respected and still is even to this day. I chose Jack Kornfield for this project because it was through him I was introduced to the concept of non-self. This is both an ancient concept and a current teaching in the world today that has helped me very much in my journey with gender, sex, both my own and others, and a concept that helps clarify key points on the subject of identity that allows for more understanding and compassion for the self and others. In an article titled Identification with the Self on jackkornfield.com, Jack states, "One of the deepest and most demanding aspects of Buddhist psychology is the experience of non-self. Ajahn Chah said, you have to consider and contemplate this slowly. You can't just think about this or your head will explode. It turns out that it is not just our roles and self-images that are tentative, without solidity. It is our very sense of self, at its base untrue, only a concept. Buddhist psychology calls this selflessness, or no self. Ordinarily, we identify with our habitual ways of acting, perceiving, thinking. Our body, thoughts, feelings, and personality all seem to be us and ours. And yet, upon examination, all these are also tentative, subject to change. We might be sick one year and healthy the next. We might be anxious and depressed at one stage of our life and confident at another. Even though we are reclusive for years, we might change to become more social, but we continue to think of ourselves as a shy person. We take each identity to be who we are, but in truth, we are not fixed in this way or that." This concept of being so attached to identity in the West can explain in many ways why our society has become so polarized on sex and gender. When discussing in this class memories of first encountering gender, I see in many ways people's need to classify in order to stabilize their own worldview. Someone once said, "We don't see the world how it is, we see the world how we are." Many people identify their sex, or even their gender, as one of the most foundational forms of identity. And when those things change in society, they feel threatened. As a child, we have very little identity, and as time passes, we build it, both with pieces we find, but also with materials that are given to us from others through socialization, for better or for worse. If we continue on, I feel it is the duty of every adult to dismantle all the unconscious forms of identity that we have been hindered with, and so that we can move forward and consciously choose who we want to be moving into the future, realizing it is a choice, not a requirement. The practice of non-self, as presented by Jack Kornfield, was what allowed me to have the understanding of myself in order to be able to do that. It is also a concept that, when understood, would allow people to view others not as a collection of labels, but as a consciousness that defies all labels. Understanding this might push people to assume less about others and instead become more curious about how other people identify themselves. They might ask more questions and build more connections rather than become more polarized and feel threatened as their own sense of identity feels in danger. So try it for yourself. Ask yourself what you identify as being you. Then ask, if that wasn't there, would you still be? Ask yourself, what might our world look like if teachers like Jack Kornfield were more well known, and if everyone understood the concept of non-self a little better? And finally, consider how much more exists under the labels we put on others, and even as much ourselves. Thanks for watching.